Welcome to Success Superstars and my special guest, Victoria Marrapodi from our San Antonio market. Victoria, welcome.
Hi, thank you, Mark.
Hey, I'm so glad you're joining us on today's episode. And there's so many things that the audience can learn from your experience. Now, you've been in real estate just now about 3 years, correct?
Yes.
What did you do before real estate?
I was in the dental field for about 6 years.
So you know teeth.
Very well.
Yeah, awesome. Okay. Well, so how did you get from dental to real estate?
Well, in the 6-year period, I started as a dental assistant to the doctor. That same doctor, after 6 years, promoted me to front office coordinator, handling everything from front desk to paperwork to insurance and claims, all client financials. And then I just was ready for some changes personally and a lot of changes professionally, and the opportunity came about for real estate, so I jumped on it.
So you jumped on it, and I think what served you well in the dental field was you learned customer service.
Yes.
Right, and so has that carried it forward into your real estate practice?
Oh, that's probably the biggest thing is understanding people, being a people pleaser / giving people time and attention. I would definitely say is my niche. So.
Right. Now, in the 3 years you started in your first year in real estate, you did, I think, 3 closings.
Yes.
And this last year you did 19.
Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty phenomenal growth rate.
Yes, sir.
And moving from 3 in your first year, which you struggled, it sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever want to quit that first year?
Oh my goodness. And, not just personal, you've got those voices in your head telling you to go back to where you were and all of that, but it was a lot of opposition from other people too. So I just became very determined in a lot of aspects, and that's where I just, even to this day, just ground myself with other successful, driven, motivated, positive environments like JPAR, and it's just, that really helps fuel that fire. So many times of doubt though.
But that first year was rough.
Yes.
But now you're on track to, you did 19 transactions last year.
Mm-hmm.
Now, where did the business come from? How did you help creating a 19, helping 19 families buy, sell, or invest in real estate?
Right. So the biggest 3 things that I took away early in my real estate career was open houses, 10 business cards per day, and follow-up calls. So those 3 combined every single day. 2 open houses a week, if not my listing, another realtor's listing, and then following up with the people you meet during that time too. So very, very dedicated and determined to that regimen.
So you had a very strong discipline of doing 2 open houses a week, handing out 10 business cards a day, probably 5 days a week, 6 days a week.
Right.
And then massive follow-up.
Yep.
So now that you've done that, I'm assuming you're now starting to see some referrals from those 19 clients you closed last year.
Yes.
Because you did such a great job. Are there referrals coming in now?
They are. And it's a very rewarding feeling.
Yeah. So the rule of thumb that we have, and I don't know if you're measuring this, the rule of thumb we have is for every past client, you should receive at least 2 referrals every year. So now you're on track. If you get 2 referrals a year from your 19 and half of those close, plus the 19 you're already going to do, you could do easily 30 or 40.
Yeah,
just with your existing system, correct?
Mm-hmm.
How would that feel?
No, I can't stop smiling. My face hurts. It's exciting. Yeah.
Now, in order to do that, you have to be really, really organized. How are you learning to delegate, or what are you doing to create the capacity to do more? I think you recently maybe hired someone to help you with paperwork.
Yes, I did. Probably one of the harder decisions I've had in my real estate early on in my career. I did everything my own, which is rewarding now because I understand the ins and outs of it, paperwork, what's going on, each step in process. But definitely at this point in my career, I love the fact that I have a TC and her team, because it's just, it frees me up to do more of what I love, which is the face-to-face interaction. And,
correct. So you're learning to now delegate, and the value of your time is better in front of clients, creating, negotiating, those kind of things. So how have you learned to maximize your time?
Well, I created this sheet of paper when I first met Michelle, and it says it's the hours of power.
Uh-huh.
And I learned to regiment my time by hour because I can get very distracted. And then I also write everything down, and I have this expectation for myself. When I come in the office, no matter how many cups of coffee I want to have to get done what I say I'm going to do. And so it's been, that's my thing.
Okay, so let's unpack that a minute, because we know that work will expand at the time you give it. Work will expand at the time we give it. So what I heard you say is, first, you're not attached to, some people would call the old school planner. Show us that planner again.
Oh,
Yeah. If that works for you, a paper planner, you write everything down, you know your objectives for the day. And when you come to the office, you give the amount of time you're going to be at the office, and you get that work done in the time you allocate.
yes.
Because work does expand at the time we give it. So you're very, very focused. So how is that planner, the manual planner, and whether you use a manual planner or electronic planner, we ought to give ourselves permission to use whatever works for us. The manual planner works for you. Tell us a little bit about how you use that on a daily basis.
Oh, biggest thing, Mark, it's accountability. It's a goal or it's an objective I'm setting up for myself. And by end of the day, if I didn't meet that, some things just come up and happen. And I give myself grace with that. But, I do evaluate where I'm at and how I spend my time. If you ever come to the office and I'm in with the door closed, it's because I had to pull myself away. So I'll get distracted easily. But I just take it seriously. That's probably the biggest thing. I don't just write it down to move to the next day.
Right. So you're very, very disciplined and very focused. And it sounds like you're really in tune with, that you're predisposed to be distracted.
Yes.
And you've found a way to cope with that, it sounds like.
It's the beauty to having such an amazing office, because everybody's friends and family here. So
Right.
They walk in and it's chatter, and then it's just the same aspect, though. A lot of these are my great friends, and we do accountability meetings together and, really help each other. But I do know that I need that discipline, and this is probably the biggest aspect. I don't like letting people down. I've learned not to like letting myself down, so this is a big accountability aspect.
So tell us, you mentioned inside your office you have some accountability groups. Tell us about that, how they're working, and why you value those.
Oh my goodness. Well, it's just, not only are they also hardworking moms or individuals, but they also understand that time value of money as well. So when we are in the office, I know we're not just coming in here to have a good time, even though it's so easy. It's great people here. But it's also to meet their goals too. So going over numbers, talking about where we were to where we are now, looking at, hard factual data versus what you want to do, I feel like has been a big realization for me.
Now, when you do that, because some people like to avoid that accountability, by having others hold you accountable and giving them permission in this group, have you found that you are more consistent?
Oh yeah, definitely, for sure. One particularly, and she was on this series with you once before. Something that I loved is we kind of met each other at the same level where we were with our goals, but where she's allocating her time, you can definitely see in reflection to her numbers. Versus, sometimes where I do a little bit more on working with investors or really spending my time doing that. So it was just cool. It was just a very real.
Right. All right. Well, so I think you've shared with the audience a number of great tips, and, congratulations on your success. Moving from 2 to 3, I forget the number, in your first year, to 19 now in year 3, and on track potentially this next 12 months to do 30 or more is phenomenal. Is there a couple tips or a couple watch outs that you would leave the audience with from your experience?
Don't sell yourself short. Early in my real estate, I didn't quite understand my worth. So something that I found myself doing was just creating ways to earn people's business versus just being myself or understanding what we're doing and being the best resource I can be to them. So I've learned that now, and that's where more than ever I'm not just, helping them. I'm helping them meet their goals because of my skill set and my professionalism and whatnot. Right. So that would be the first thing. The second thing is just value your own time. We so often value everybody else's, and then at the end of the day, and you didn't get done what you wanted to get done, and so it's just value that.
Yeah, at JPAR, I wrote a little white paper on the value of your time. So we may include that when we post this episode, the white paper that we did on how to calculate the value of your time, and then to realize the activities, are the activities you're doing worth that time, or should it be outsourced to someone else? So what a great episode. I think the audience is going to get great value from this. And any last words of wisdom before we wrap up?
I also have a little one, and she comes along for all of this with me, majority of the time. So I've got to include her on all this. She calls herself Realtor Junior, and it's rewarding to see her understanding work ethic, and clients love her. And, but it's also taught me too to value my time with her. So going back to time management, when I'm doing my best here in the office, I really do get to go home and enjoy my family, because I'm, I feel like I not served my time, but you know what I mean? I really allocated well. So this is fun. I was going to share one more thing too. Yesterday I was in the kitchen with one of our agents here, and we were talking about just the roller coaster of real estate. And he had mentioned something his mentor shared with him, that was when you have a back door option, if this doesn't work out, what are you going to do? And his mentor mentioned to him, well, why even have that mindset? And it really helped me too, because for me, real estate is it. I'm passionate about it. This is how my daughter and I have fun. This is how the bills get paid. This is rewarding in so many ways. But I have a license in other fields and other career options, but I don't look to it. This is exactly what I want and what I love. But it was just, it was cool. Have your mind set on what you're doing.
It's kind of like Cortez. If you know the Cortez story, where they were going into the battle and all the soldiers, he burned the ships.
That's what he said. He said, burn your ships.
Burn your ship, because there is no backup plan. The backup plan is to win.
It was David. It's exactly the story he shared.
Yeah. There you go. So,
cool. And then to couple with that, I love that 5-second rule by Mel Robbins, because I can get really nervous, especially when it comes to, this is the biggest investment in choice in people's lives. And sometimes making that phone call to either give them good, bad news, like it's nerve-wracking, but I just set myself up for that 5-second rule and just let it go. And it's appreciated on all aspects once you can do that. And so.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, congratulations on your success, and thank you so much for spending some time and sharing with the audience. And we'll see you soon on another episode of Success Superstars.